Crazy.
I'm now live. Oh, wow, I'm so finished. Not yet. Hello guys. Today my live has been interrupted like so many times. But I'm hoping Neo's gonna join just now. Yeah. Doing live interviews is an interesting experience, I've got to tell you. It's so interesting. Some of the things, the challenges, the things that happened while you're waiting, like it's crazy. So let me wait for her. Hello, Esther. Neo, I'm so sorry. Whew, my goodness. I can't. Yo. Neo.
Hi, network. Nah.
No, I can blele this time around. No. Remember I told you I had to use a different device?
Oh,
So
yes.
device is not internet ready. Live Instagram vibes. Live
Oh, I
Instagram vibes will
see.
take a lot of data. So data ran out on the other device. That's why.
And isn't it
Gosh,
also
I hate
because
it.
you're outdoors? I find that my dongle that I take outdoors is not very reliable. Like the internet indoors is the one that's more reliable. Isn't it that as well?
No, I think with this particular instance, because it told me like it's my friend's phone, data ran out. I'm like, do we need this right now in this moment? I mean, you're always used to being home, there's fiber, there's whatever. So when you go
Yes,
out, you're
yeah.
not really, you don't think of, and I think also for her, her device was we didn't even think of it as a backup device. So we found
Oh,
ourselves
okay.
here. Now I'm using
Oh.
my phone.
And
So,
here I was when you were off, when you said you're going to fetch a backup device, I was like, she's so organized. She's got backup devices.
no, girl. No. The universe was just like, yeah, you've got your friend around you for a change today. Use her device, keep backup device. So,
Lovely.
yeah. Wow, it's hating on us today. I've never had as many hiccups as I have today. I've never. But
As
look, we just roll with it. We roll with it.
Askies.
Um, we were talking about you saying like why women can't. And I was saying that to you that I think we also need to be able to step up and you know, men. If you look at how men operate, men. I think the way that they're raised, they've got this thing. I mean, besides it being like a physical makeup, they just like test out everything. They back themselves. And I think the way that we are raised as women, we are always kind of shrinking ourselves. And we're living now in a time where we say, we don't need to shrink who we are. We are more than capable. We've seen it. We've got so many cases. Like you say, for centuries, women have been running households. They've been running communities. We are now, I believe, this is my view, that we are getting into a time and place where we are saying, no, actually, I at this table am worthy and this is me.
Yeah,
Like I have
that's
been
why.
worthy all along. I didn't believe it, but this is me.
True, and that's why I always say, and my family always cringe, but I always say, what, I think God gave me girls for a reason, and I'm
Mm.
sorry, I wanna raise my girls like how men are raised, like how boys are raised. Like go out there and do like. I don't ever want to, because you know how manyana, like, hey, you guys are so manyana, hey, you talk about manyana, hey, it's also like, I'm like, yo, girl, do you what you wanna do, like, um I hope my daughter's friends are not watching this. There's a time when, and people can say I'm promoting different things, and I'm sorry if I am. There was a time when my daughter had a crush on twins, identical to, and she's like, they're the same people, mommy. And I'm like, yeah. They're the same people. Do you go enjoy, enjoy, yeah. So like, I feel like we need to change the narrative of how we raise girls, and it's also because you know how they always say girls mature quicker. And I'm like, girls don't mature quicker. Girls are expected to like the responsibilities put on a girl make her mature quicker. The fact that for a boy can sleep until 12 ke yone e mo etsang gore a ska nna mature. What matures you is circumstances. I get that's why
Yes.
women mature so quick. And And also another thing I wanted to say, you know why men are so good? Like I always find people, I think men are good at business and stuff like that. And you know why? Okay, in my perspective,
Yeah.
business is all about guts. It's all I remember. I mean, business 101 is like as an entrepreneur, you need to be a risk taker. You need to, you need to be able to knock on doors and kick down doors and whatnot. Why do you think men can do it so well? Because from as young as 12, men have been shellering. To sheller is flipping hard. You need to, yeah, you need to have craft. So they've been mentored and they've been taught from a very young age. From a young age, from 10, the uncles are like, you eat pinto, go, even if you don't want to, you're forced to go sheller. You're forced to put yourself out there. So right now, we only have to go after things when now you want to start working, and then you're a fish out of water. You don't know how to do it. You don't know. But men have been doing it since they were kids. They've been told for her to go out there. Like, even if you think that person is not on your level, just go out there, do it.
That's do it.
And sometimes
do it.
And sometimes they strike lucky, and that's business. Sometimes sometimes you are proper, sometimes you don't.
Sure. Wow.
Yeah.
I love that because you're not saying you were having two daughters. You're like, listen, I'm raising my daughters in the way I've made these observations around me. I'm a woman and I know how I've been raised. So with that, because sometimes you can say, you know what, I'm gonna raise my kids the way I've been raised, but then you realize it takes awareness. That's what I'm trying to the point I'm trying to drive across to say it takes awareness. It has taken time for you to observe, to identify, to say this is what has been happening around me. But I'm not going to perpetuate what has been happening. I am going to say, oh, girls, you can do it. You can do it.
You can do it. Like, absolutely. Like, do you? Like, I always say, okay, fine, yes, there are rules, more life thing, but do not let the rules limit you. Get to know the rules and get to know your way around them.
So now I'm curious to understand, because you being the woman that you are, you being an African woman and growing up the way that you have grown, your husband, like, he must also be a very, like, because sometimes men can feel threatened that, this woman sees the world in this way. So I want to know more about that.
It's not always fun. It's not always fun. Hey, we tend to clash a lot, and he's always like, no, not everything is so serious, and not everything is about feminism and not. And I also get my sister telling me, for now, in the home, when it comes to your husband, you must submit. And I was like, nah, he got me like this. So we always had interesting conversations. We debating quite a lot. In fact, you were saying that we should do a show, where we just because me and him are like black and white, So we were saying, because we always have interesting conversations where he's saying, but this is how things work, and I'm saying, but they can work better, So yeah, it keeps our relationship interesting as well, because there's never a dull moment. There's always debate.
I can imagine.
You always bring in Kia. What do you think? What do you think? There's always debate, and it's not always great, but sometimes it's great. So yeah.
And I love that. I mean, there's no. Yeah.
Okay. Also, it's like like the yin and yang, like, and the different parts. That's how things. That's how things connect. I tend to think that I don't think if we're totally the same, things would work. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. But then that, like, even in a puzzle piece, that part that you don't have, this part has, and that's how you connect. So I think that's how we are.
Wow. I mean, I love that you're being so raw about it, to say, no matter, like, in my mind, I'm just thinking, that man must really know how to embrace his queen who's got these views. But you're saying to me, listen, this king, it's not always perfect, because we've got moments where we clash and we've got moments where we disagree about stuff, and it's okay. And actually, it's what makes us who we are. It makes us great. So that is a beautiful thing.
One of the things we're talking about yesterday, it was not a debate, but then I was saying, I was very passionate about the R. Kelly situation. I was like, oh my God, that's a monster. He must die, type of situation, right? So yesterday I was like, oh wow, they're saying Zota Wabantu is the R. Kelly of Mzansi, So he's like, yeah, so why are you not saying Zota must die? I'm like, well, Zota's not holding them in dungeons. Like, Zota, these people, but like a free will, So, those are some of the things where he feels like I favor the woman more than I favor the guy. And it's not always the case. I just feel like men have been thriving for all these centuries. And like they always say that a woman must submit, a woman must just take the lead of a man and whatnot. But my thing is that if that's the case, if that's how it's supposed to be truly, why did God bother giving us a brain? Why, because, do you get what I mean? Like, for instance, if I have a pet, like I can't expect my pet dog to make decisions in the house because it does not think at that level. Why am I then made in a level where I can think, I can see for no more? Why if I'm supposed to just keep quiet and follow you? Did you get what I mean? Why was I given a
I
brain?
get it.
So sure it's not natural.
Sure. That is so profound. My goodness. Why are we given a brain if we expect it to be these people who just have to...
If we're the neck and all we're supposed to do is turn, why this then? Why this?
And I suppose you never get an answer when you ask that question to whoever you maybe ask or have asked it to. You can never get an answer to that.
I'm always told my problem is I know too much.
You're Tswana, ne? You're also Tswana, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure they get into those stereotypes where they're like, hey, you're a Tswana women. Like, hey, you're a Tswana women. Marwena wa ring, wena wa ring ka rona Batswana.
Bele.
Yes!
Mana ke saring se.
Saring na re sose. Listen, now I'm still single. Please, you're taken. I can't be saying these things live. Like, yeah, I must still be like, I'm joking.
No, I mean, you must be like that so that your brothers aren't shocked now that you're starting to show up. He must know, he must see you and know what he's getting into before anything, before any commitments. So that Lena Baba.
But I'm that girl, unapologetically so. I am that girl. I'm just like, this is who I am. Take me, leave me, whatever. Not arrogant,
and
but
I feel like that's why marriages end up not working out or so hectic because people pretend to be a certain thing, and then now when you're in it, because you can't hide forever. Like, my grandmother used to say, you know. And then now you guys are living together and all these things are popping up and it's like, but that's not who you were when like you were like, yeah, oh yeah, but now you're telling me things, So be you, like he must see you from the onset. That's why I usually, like, back when I used to date, I used to hate it when guys would hit on me and maybe that time I'm all made up, I'm from a shoot and I'd be like, yo, this guy needs to see me so as natural as soon as possible. So that they know, they know what they're signing up for.
yeah, like no dreams are going to be sold here. This is who I am. Bona wiki ele, it comes off. This is me with my shrinkage.
They must see it off as soon as possible.
You killed me. So just in closing, I want to know, I mean, there's a lot that I've discovered in this conversation with you, and I'm just so sad that we couldn't save the first two parts of the conversation, but this one, hopefully we get to save before the phone starts saying it's overheating and all random nonsense. But I want to know, like, what is it that you live by? So we can call it a mantra, a life philosophy. What is that thing that you live by?
Yeah, that's a difficult one. The thing that I live by is just be you. Like, now, be you, be bold. That's like, honestly, like, it's nothing hectic. It's nothing, like, it's just in every situation, just remember to bring you. Because I feel like I'm also an ingredient in whatever that I'm bringing, like in whatever situation that I'm in. And it's like a tomato trying to be an onion. It's not gonna, the gravy is not going to work. You need to be an onion, So be you in every situation, and if it doesn't work, it was for the best. You get what I mean? It will work in some instances. So that's why in my page, I always think for, to monetize my page, it needs to have what. But then I'm sorry, I'm like, the only thing I can sell is me,
Woo! Woo!
So yeah.
You know what? Yeah, go for it.
No, I was saying, like, you read all these things on, and then it tells you for your Instagram to do this, you must do this, and you must do that, and you must do that. That's somebody's opinion, I believe. And you know, for the thing that I always struggle with is like find a niche. I'm like, but I'm different woman. I'm every woman. I can't say I'm for this woman only, you know? So I can't find a niche. I'm sorry. You know? This is me. I'm every woman, you know? So that's why
Oh,
sometimes I look at my page and it looks like it's all over the place, but that is me. Then my life is all over the place.
and
Yeah.
realistically speaking, I mean, realistically speaking, we don't live lives that are like the aesthetic is like everything is. We live it. Well, that's also like a mindset thing. Like it depends how you view yourself as well. Do you view
Mm.
yourself as a person who always wants to be perfect, or are you just you? Like you're saying, be you.
And I
And
find
there's
I find I find perfection so boring though. Like, you know, sometimes I look at certain girls and they look so like picture perfect, but then I don't know, I can't relate. Like, and I feel like in flaws, that's when we can relate, you know. And you want to relate with people. Like, if you want to do like relate with people, because if you're gonna be this picture perfect thing, nobody can relate with you. Well,
absolutely. I mean, we'll like your whatever, and it's just it's where it ends. And I used to say it's one of the things that I struggled with the like the parenting blog. I did it because I mean I love parenting, I love writing, and now there was this thing that you're being told that yeah, you must be this way, you must be this way, your aesthetic, your thing, and I'm like, but this doesn't allow me to. What my goal is with that is to say, guys, we are parents, we all don't know, we are just
yeah.
trying our best.
And then
Let's
we
talk
all
about.
don't know, like who really knows? Like
No one
nobody has
knows.
no like. I don't. Please don't lie to us, guys. Nobody know. And like life as a whole, nobody knows. Like I don't care who you are. You don't know life. Like not for me. And that's how I've always lived my life. Like that's why I usually and sometimes I feel bad for it. Usually when people are like, "What's your 5 year goal? What's your 5?" And I'm like, "Hey guys, the club owner." You know, like I
Okay.
don't like we don't know. Like Ritabana as like who would have predicted? I remember back in the day I used to wonder like I used to see people banally Vision 2020 and what and look at the people with Vision 2020 now. Like people that had Vision 2020 back I you know?
Wabona COVID it has come to show us that listen, you can be. I realized I think with America, because you know America is America, and
Yeah.
no one knows. Even America doesn't know. Nobody
Nobody
knows.
knows.
No
Nobody
one knows.
knows, you know? You know, and I used to look at those people with envy that had like the Vision 2020 or flip now, we're not 2020, and I couldn't come up with an answer. But here we are, we're on lockdown. Song
I know
global.
you were not hung up on that Vision 2020 thing because right now maybe you may be like very depressed and hung up on it to say 2020 came and my vision didn't come to fruition and
Ex-
now you are like, oh my goodness, my
exactly.
life is over.
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
sure.
there's this saying that I don't know. I once saw somewhere, and I've always lived by it. It says, "Make a plan and make God laugh." You know, sometimes you know you go to God and you've got all these grand plans. Yeah, God, by the time I'm 25, I want to have my first mansion and I want to have blah blah blah. You know, you got your life together, girl. God has a different plan for you. You know, so just I feel like just be ready in every moment. Like enjoy the moment and just do your best. I think just do your best, and you always know in every moment what is the best. You know, so just do your best. Even got parenting, do your best. Your kids just need you. They don't need that textbook mom. They just need you.
Oh, that is so
Yeah.
beautiful. Now, I'm scared we're gonna lose this into at this part of the conversation, so I don't want us to lose it. I
You know
want to
what I
keep.
did though? You know what I did for you, girl? I screen recorded this segment. So
Winning,
at
winning,
least, yeah, yeah.
winning. You're so in tune. Like, get one technology. Oh, which is everything. Thank
Nah,
you.
girl, I try.
I really appreciate it. I
Yeah.
think you're such an amazing soul. Our conversation, and I was so glad that you agreed to doing this because I pick you when I go through your page and all of those things. I pick up authenticity, and that's what I'm all about. Because authenticity, like I always encourage people to be who they are, because that's when you thrive. So, throughout this conversation, I realized we are so aligned on so many different levels, and I'm like, I'm so grateful that you have given me this time on a Saturday. I mean, you've got a family, and keep doing what you're doing. Keep sprinkling the fairy dust wherever you go, the light that you're spreading.
Thank
You may not
you.
always hear it because it may not always be someone who is being as direct as me now saying it to you, but please keep doing it. I know, like, even when stupid things like when I comment on a post on your page, I know I can be my real self and you'll receive me as that. Like, just keep being the star that you are. We need people like yourself. I absolutely am so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you so much to me. Thank you so much. Read your comments before, because you're not gonna have them again. When you load it on IG, you're not gonna see them.
That is true. There were so many of them that I was so, so I've got this thing, like when I'm in a moment,
Yeah.
I'm looking into your eyes and I'm like, I'm there, so present. So when they keep popping up, I'm like, oh, yes. Okay, there's comments as well.
Yeah, but
Let
I
me
think that
see.
you read them at the end, like now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So G Child 10 said, true, no need to put dates on goals. Ooh, that is a beautiful thing. She's
Yeah, I
right.
think so.
And I think
Yeah.
when G Child was saying that, it was based on when you were mentioning that Vision 2020 and all that
Yeah.
being hung up on.
And you're gonna break your heart also by putting dates. Like Osangoma, how do you know what's gonna happen? You know?
Exactly. And no one predicted Libo Sangoma, no one predicted like that this
Nobody
is gonna be
knew,
happening.
like nobody. The prophet, nobody ever spoke about it.
Yeah. And it's not to say don't put it out there. Like if you want something, put it on plain tablets, like it says in Habakkuk in the Bible. But
Yeah.
it's not to say be like, oh, in 2 years this is what's gonna happen. It might not happen in 2
Yeah.
years, it may happen in 5 years.
Yeah.
So
And yes, that's the thing
uh
that I never mentioned. That's the thing that I never mentioned. When I want something to happen, I don't know, that's magic in writing something down. Write it down and with as much detail as you can. And I don't know, somehow it's gonna just come. I don't know how it works. Get the power of the universe. Like if there's a trick that you can do, I promise you guys, just write it down. Got a dream and be as elaborate as you can. And
ooh.
it will come. I promise you. That's
But,
one I can
so,
promise you. That's magic.
so can you only write on your own behalf or can you write on behalf of other people like myself?
What do you mean?
So can you write for me on in your journal and then it will happen for me?
No, write it in your own journal. We are all creators. So and how dare I want to speak on your behalf? You get what I mean?
Because
I'll
me,
just
I want everybody speaking on my behalf. I will write it for myself and you must write it for me.
okay, that also makes sense because I need to. The Bible also says when two or three agree, it is done, right? So yes, so you're right actually. So speak about it and have people agree on it, and then yo guys, that's a magic trick that I can give you. Write things down, and yes, and like Tumi said, get people to also write it on your behalf as well, and it will come.
Sure, thank you for that. Today I'm gonna write it
Go
down.
write it.
And
Go write it, girl. Go write it, girl. Go write it.
I'm just scrolling to try and see other comments. Okay, somebody said that it was so authentic, and I really think it was because you're such an
Thank
authentic
you.
being. So that is amazing. So yeah, that's what I've seen so far.
Yay.
No, ke a leboga. No. I was
Thank
saying
you.
that those are the comments that I've seen on this part of the live. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Wanako Khai. I feel like it's safe to call you Wanako Khai because Map Town, that's where it is.
Yeah.
Retswa Khai rotlhe.
I know,
So
did you say you are from Mafikeng?
ke tswa ko Riviera Park.
Oh, Rivera Park. Okay. Oh, the cheese gal.
Oh, I know. Okay, let's take it there. Please, so people also have an idea of certain things and whatever, but Mahikeng, that is where we both grew up, and it's such a beautiful thing. Like when I discovered that about you, I was like, oh, she's my homegirl. And it wasn't even I didn't pick you up based on the homegirl thing. But then Hans hey man, ke homie, ke homie.
We are home girls. We are definitely home girls. How often do you go home? Do you still go home?
I was home. Can you believe it? I was home for the first time this year last week. And not
Oh,
because
really?
so COVID, obviously we couldn't travel and whatever. So there was a thing that made me go home, and it was good to be home. There's always that feeling when you go home and you get there and you're like, oh, this
True.
is home. This is
True.
home. And
I'm
you?
planning. I'm planning to go when it's my. I'm planning to go the week after my birthday, which is around 14. I'm planning to go of September.
Okay. Hey, ke bone gore wa counter down to birthday. Ke bone ka re Mogele birthday is coming. When is it? The 7th or the 14th?
You got it. The 7th. The
So you're
7th.
5'2". How old are
Yeah.
you turning? Somebody asked earlier on one of the previous lives, how old are you turning?
I'm turning a whole 35, guys. That's a youth league. I'm turning a whole of 35. So I need to
No,
do
you've
big.
gotta
I need to celebrate in a big way.
no, you've gotta give us the secret, girl. Your skin. Your skin. What is it? No.
You know what? I always tell people, I think I've got Khoisan genetics. Look at the cheeks. So I don't know, like honestly, there's nothing that I can say I'm doing. It's just how I am.
I always look at your videos and I'm like, no way. She looks like she is. You and your daughter look like you're the same age. You and Gail look like you're the same age. I swear.
You know what, to me, I was saying the other day, I think I put it on my WhatsApp status that my phone, you know, the facial recognition thing, she can open it with her face. I was like, I was like, what?
No, it's true. You've got to give us. We are out here drinking the collagen, trying to get 8 hours a night of sleep. You got to
Okay,
find out.
maybe I sleep a lot, I laugh a lot, and I love spending time in the sun.
Ah, I love that. And you
Yeah.
spoke about the childlike spirit earlier on, so this is
And,
why you
and,
are this
and, and
person.
naturally, I'm very childlike. I still play with my daughter. Like, we play outside, we play touches. Like, I don't know. In my personality, I'm also quite young.
And this is why husband, I'm sure all the time he's on his toes. He's just like, my baby love, my honey, my
I know.
sugar.
Yeah, he's always like, yeah, well, now one thing about you, I'll never cheat. Why? Because you are amongst the 20s. You're amongst the 20s.
Forever young. We love it. And I'm sure in the future we'll have an episode where you just tell us how to keep it fresh and young, because I look at that and I'm like, you're doing it well.
Well, I don't know how, but then okay. I'll just thumb suck my way through that conversation.
You may think you're thumb sucking, but for us, we're taking notes because it'll be like, hey, oh, okay. Moto, oh, she laughs every day, or she eats motoho every day, I read whatever it is, like, that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. No, thank you so much. Enjoy what remains of your Saturday, and please tell your family that we are really glad and grateful that you spent this time with us. And yes, thank you. I'm going to hold you accountable. I haven't forgotten all the things that we have spoken about in this conversation. You are going to write about what we're going through in this pandemic, so that
Get
future
me on
generations
WhatsApp.
will
Get
be
me on WhatsApp. Say now, how far are you with Eslin? I'm gonna say the same. How far are you with X, Y, and Z?
I'm gonna do that because we need to hold
Next
each
thing,
other
next thing I'm
accountable.
ignoring. Next thing I'm like ignoring you. I'm not opening your.
Ke tla go founela. At time,
I'm
ke
like,
tla go founela.
Okay. Enjoy your day
Oh,
too, and
man.
enjoy your. Are you on vacay? Are you on vacation?
Not even. I'm at Point de Val in the Val. If you've been there, so I came this morning for a massage, and then it was lunch, and now it's like we're just gonna wait for the sun to set before we drive back to Joburg. So yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. Very nice. Enjoy, ladies.
Thank you so much, and I love you. Thank you for the time.
Love you too. Bye bye. Bye, everybody.
Howdy. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.